Alright TM Nation, so I've had the new Galaxy Buds 2 earbuds in hand for a few days now, and I put them through all of my normal testing to see just how well they stack up to some of my other favorite Bluetooth active noise cancelling earbuds in the $100 to $150 range. And that reminds me of one thing that I want to be clear on, is that the Galaxy Buds 2 earbuds are not meant to be a replacement for the Galaxy Buds Pros. These are a follow-up to the Galaxy Buds Plus earbuds. That being said, the Galaxy Buds Pros will likely have a newer version dropping in the future, but for now, those earbuds are still at the top of the hierarchy for Samsung earbuds. So in this video, we'll take a more in-depth look at the Galaxy Buds 2s. I'll give you my mic audio quality test, my leakage test, my water test. We'll also take a look at the Samsung wearable app, and I'll also give you my opinion on how the Galaxy Buds 2s stack up to the Galaxy Buds Pros and the Beats Studio Buds as well. As far as the unboxing experience with the Galaxy Buds 2s, it's pretty straightforward. You get a quick start guide, a USB Type-C cable for charging. You also get small, medium, and large ear tips, and last but certainly not least, your earbuds and the charging case. Taking a look at the Buds 2 case alongside the Buds Pro case, as you can see, they're almost identical in terms of the looks and the size. The case for the Beats Studio Buds is gonna be the largest out of the bunch, but they're all small enough to throw in a normal sized pocket, backpack, or purse. The pairing process with the earbuds by opening up the case is gonna be similar across all three pairs of these earbuds if you're using a Samsung device. With either pair of the Galaxy Buds, all that you have to do is open up the lid of the case near your device and you'll get a prompt for connection. On the other hand, if you're gonna be using your Galaxy Buds with an iOS device, the experience isn't going to be as seamless and you'll have to pair them like any other pair of wireless earbuds. And what I mean by that is you're gonna have to put the Galaxy Buds into pairing mode, find them on your iOS device, and then connect them, which is not a big deal, but it's not the one-step pairing. Here is one area where the Studio Buds have a clear advantage in my opinion. Whether you're pairing them with an iOS device or an Android, all that you have to do is open up the case near the device and you'll get a prompt for connection. On Android, you simply have to download the Beats app and you'll be all set. But on iOS with the Studio Buds, you don't need anything extra. Simply open up the top lid of the Studio Buds near your iOS device and you'll get the prompt for connection, usually within a couple of seconds. As for the Bluetooth versions, the Studio Buds and the Buds 2s are packing 5.2 and the Buds Pros are packing 5.0. But if you're concerned about latency, both of the Galaxy Buds do just fine in this department. They both have a built-in gaming mode that will cut down on any noticeable lag, so if you're a gamer, keep this in mind. The Studio Buds, on the other hand, don't have a low latency mode or a gaming mode, but I haven't noticed any lag watching movies, YouTube videos, or with casual mobile gaming. Design-wise for the earbuds, the Buds 2s fit in my ears just fine, and I think they're just as comfortable in my ears as the Buds Pros. The Buds Pros do have a more premium feel overall, but the Buds 2s are gonna be the smallest out of the bunch. The Studio Buds are longer overall, but at the same time, they don't feel uncomfortable or like an obstruction while I'm wearing them. All three pairs are comfortable in my ears, but if being discreet is your thing, the Buds 2s are gonna be less noticeable than the Studio Buds and the Buds Pros, as they both stick out slightly more. Moving on and touching on the battery life, with the Galaxy Buds 2s, I was able to get 4 hours and 57 minutes on a single charge with ANC on just about the whole time. Samsung does claim that you'll get about 5 hours on a single charge using ANC and up to 7.5 not using it. I think those numbers are pretty accurate. When you throw the case into the mix with the Buds 2s, you can put the earbuds back into it a few times for a total maximum usage of about 29 hours. With the Galaxy Buds Pros, I have been averaging similar numbers. For the most part, I never use them without ANC on, and I've been averaging about 5 hours and 7 minutes on a single charge pretty consistently. Now with the Buds Pros, Samsung does say that you can get up to 8 hours not using ANC, and that you can throw them into the case a few extra times for a total maximum usage of about 28 hours. The Studio Buds are going to give you similar battery numbers, my numbers have fluctuated a little bit over time, but for the most part I always use them with ANC on, and I get between 4 hours and 50 minutes and sometimes up to 5 hours and about 10 minutes. Beats claims that if you use the studio buds without ANC on, you'll get about 8 hours on a single charge, and you'll be able to throw them into the case a few times for a maximum total usage of 24 hours. If battery life is your main concern, it is important to note that all 3 pairs of these earbuds do feature quick charging, but one thing that I do want to note for you guys is that out of the bunch, only the Galaxy Buds 2s and the Galaxy Buds Pros support Qi wireless charging. If you're considering buying any of these earbuds for exercise, guys, none of them do the best job of staying in your ears, especially once the sweat starts flowing. None of them have ear hooks or wings, but the Studio Buds and the Buds Pros do have small ridges on them to keep them planted in your ears a little bit better. The Buds 2s on the other hand don't have any ridges, so out of the bunch they moved around the most while I was exercising. All 3 do carry a water resistance rating, with the Buds Pros being the strongest at IPX7, followed by the Studio Buds at IPX4, and the Buds 2s are the weakest with IPX2. I have included my water test with all 3 pairs of these earbuds just so you can see how they react while being wet. Let's take a look. Concerning the sound leakage that you'll get with all 3 pairs of these earbuds, they all do leak some sound, but I don't think it's terrible considering how loud they get. But I did include my leakage test with all 3 pairs so that you can judge for yourselves. Let's take a listen. The playback controls are going to be essentially the same on the Buds Pros and the Buds 2s. They both operate by touch control. The Studio Buds on the other hand have one physical button on each earbud that is pretty responsive. I never really have an issue with the Galaxy Buds picking up my feedback with the touch controls unless my hands are sweaty or my ears are wet. In those situations, it sometimes takes a few taps for the earbuds to pick up my feedback, but other than that, they do just fine. So that being said, if you're not that big of a fan of touch controls, then your option here is clear. It's gonna be the Studio Buds with those clickable buttons. Now with all 3 pairs of these earbuds, you do have some customization that you can do through the companion app to the playback controls. But one thing that I do want to note for you guys that is a disadvantage for the Studio Buds is that you cannot control the volume with them without using your voice assistant. With both pairs of the Galaxy Buds, you can set volume controls, but they're a no-go on the Studio Buds. Digging deeper into the companion apps, although you can do more with the Galaxy Buds if you have a Samsung device or an Android in general, that's where it stops. As I mentioned earlier, the Galaxy Buds can be connected to an iOS device, but the app support is non-existent. That being the case, you won't benefit from many of the features such as adjusting your controls, accessing the user manual on the go, going in and changing the different ambient and noise canceling settings, and pretty much everything else that the app has to offer. On the other hand, the Studio Buds are going to give you a similar app experience no matter whether you're using an iOS device or an Android device. Again, the app for the Studio Buds is not as robust as what you'll get with the Galaxy Buds, but its functionality across platforms is a huge advantage over the other two. Ranking these three in terms of the ANC performance, the Buds Pros perform the best in my opinion, followed by the Studio Buds and the Galaxy Buds 2s coming in last. Now they all provide decent to good performance, but for me the Buds Pros reduce more of my environmental noise than the other two. I did my normal testing with all three pairs of these earbuds by taking them out in the evening while many of the neighborhood kids were outside playing. For the most part, the Buds Pros canceled out almost everything except for a couple of booms and bangs here and there. The Studio Buds came in second for me because they pretty much canceled most things out, but I could hear louder voices. The Buds 2s came in last place, but it's not by much. They did do a good job of blocking out most sounds, but I was able to hear some engine noise, and I also was able to hear some louder voices as well. And I just want to note for you guys that I did this test with all three pairs of earbuds set at 50% on the same song. Once I went ahead and adjusted the volume to 75% on each pair, it didn't matter what was going on around me, I couldn't hear it. One thing that sets the Buds Pros apart from the other two in terms of ANC is that you can select the mode in the companion app. And in terms of transparency, all three pairs do offer an ambient mode that will allow you to hear what's going on around you just a little bit better. In this category, again, the Buds Pros capture more ambient noise than the other two. The Buds 2s are gonna come in second, followed by the Studio Buds that come in last. And one thing to note is that both the Galaxy Buds allow you to adjust the strength of your ambient mode. Moving on and touching on my listening experience with all three pairs of these earbuds. Sound quality wise, to my ears, the Galaxy Buds Pros provide a more full and refined sound than what I'm able to achieve with the Galaxy Buds 2s. Both pairs of the Galaxy Buds do give you the ability to select from different EQs through the wearable app, but to my ears, with both of them being on the same exact EQ, the Buds Pros are going to be a little bit more bright and a little bit more clear overall. And I don't want to make it sound like the Buds 2s do not sound good, because they actually sound really good, but they focus a little bit more on the low end than on the clarity that you'll get with the Pros. But the best sounding out of the bunch to me is going to be the Studio Buds. Out of the box, these sound pretty much exactly how I would tune them if I made them myself. They have nice treble with the highs that is not too harsh. They have clear mids for those crispy vocals, and the bass is great. I've had the Studio Buds for a little while now, and no matter what I have thrown at them, they have handled it with no issues whatsoever. Podcasts, music, movies, YouTube, they just provide a great listening experience across the board. Relative to the call quality, you can take and make voice calls with all three pairs of these earbuds. Now, I don't think the call quality with any of them is crystal clear, but at the same time, I do think they do a decent job of capturing clear speech. I have noticed with the Galaxy Buds, at times they do give off a tinny and airy type of sound, but I did include all three samples for you guys to judge for yourselves. Let's check them out. Okay guys, so right now I have the earbuds paired to my Z Flip 3. As you can see, the audio that you're hearing right now is coming directly from the microphones on the earbuds. Now, I'm not going to do any type of editing to this audio, so this should give you a pretty good idea of how these perform for voice calls. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have the Galaxy Buds Pro in my ears right now. They're currently paired to my Galaxy S20. The audio that you're hearing right now is coming directly from the microphones on the earbuds, and I'm not going to do any type of editing to it, so this is probably how you'll sound if you use these for voice calls. Alright guys, so right now I have the Studio Buds paired to my iPhone 12 Pro. As you can see, the audio that you're hearing right now is coming directly from the microphones on the earbuds. Now, I'm not going to do any type of editing to this audio, so this should give you a pretty good idea of how these earbuds perform for voice calls. All in all, fam, the choice for me is simple. I'd pick the Studio Buds. Like I've said throughout this video, I own both Android and iOS devices, and the Studio Buds work just as well on both without any hiccups. Yes, I do like the total package that you get with the Galaxy Buds Pros and the Galaxy Buds 2s, but I just don't see myself using a Samsung or Android device on a daily basis for more than a couple of months at a time. Now, I do get it if you're in the Samsung ecosystem. The the ease of switching between your devices is certainly a nice feature to have, so picking up a pair of Buds Pluses or Buds 2s is completely justifiable. So if I had to pick a pair of Samsung earbuds, I would go with the Galaxy Buds Pros. Although they had a retail price of about $200 when they first came out, you can regularly find them for under $150. That being said, the Galaxy Buds 2s retail for about $149, and I don't think that they're worth that price. I do foresee them going on sale in the future, so if you can find them for $130, $120, or even $110, I think that they're a good buy at that price. But you have made it this far in the video, guys. If you haven't already, please drop a like on it for me because it definitely helps the channel grow and I appreciate it. Also, if this was your first time here, why don't you consider subscribing, as I drop at least one video on content just like this per week. But until next time, like I always say, y'all be safe, y'all stay positive, and most importantly, y'all have a great day. I will catch y'all in the next one, but until then, it's your boy Tech Mo and I'm out. Peace.